beautiful bookish friends, I'm Bowen and welcome to my channel. This is going to be the start of my March vlog. So I was going back and forth on what I wanted this vlog to be, and I keep seeing Bride by Ali Hazelwood literally everywhere. So I really want to pick this one up, and then I realised that I have 4 other books here that all fit the same vibe. So I think this is what we're going with. Starting with A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch. I've already started this and I'm maybe 60% of the way through it at the minute. I will do an actual update on this one in a minute after I've gone through the actual TBR. So we're starting with this one. And then we've also got The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson, Bride, obviously, by Ali Hazelwood, and Filthy Rich Vampire by Geneva Lee. So we're going for like a witchy, paranormal type theme in this video, I think. I started this one the other day. I'm maybe 60% into it so far. I read this one in a vlog from last year. I think it was the May vlog. I'm not 100% sure, but that will be linked down in the description. I loved the first book in the series. This one, I was apprehensive going in because I didn't really like the side characters. It's supposed to be enemies to lovers, and like he calls her mean all the time, but it just, every time someone's like, oh, he's so mean, it sounds like a little kid throwing a temper tantrum, like, Mommy's being mean to me. Like, no, just be a grown-up. She's not mean. I mean, she's abrasive, sure, but she's not mean. This also has the amnesia trope, which I've never read the amnesia trope before, and I don't really know how to feel about it. Once I get a little bit further in and maybe finish the book, I'll update you and tell you how I actually felt about it. But I'm not loving this one as much as I loved the first one in the series, but I am still enjoying it. I still like the series. I love books with like stupid long titles like this. But once I finish this one, I will update you with some more cohesive thoughts than whatever the fuck this was. I may or may not have ordered more books. So we're just going to do like a little unboxing thing together. First, we have Written in the Stars. This is all 3 books in the series by Alexandra Bellaflor. So we've got Written in the Stars, Hang the Moon, and Count Your Lucky Stars, because I need more queer romance in my life and I've wanted to get to these for quite a while, so I picked that up. There's also this that I picked up, but this is not for me. This is for my friend Becca. I got her the Ravenhood series by Kate Stewart. She put this on her wish list and I found it cheaper on this website because she wants the whole set. So I got this for her. I'm seeing her in a few weeks when we go to Paris together. So I think I'm going to give this to her when I see her. Just going to have to wrap it and everything. It is like wrapped together pretty tight. I hope that's not damaged the books. She really enjoyed this. I've not read this series. I'm going to be honest. I feel like this series isn't for me. I don't know what it is. It's just giving not for me vibes. But I got this for Becca. And then I also got... oh my god, these are so pretty. They're in the wrong order though. That's annoying. But yeah, then I also got the Neon God series by Katie Robert. I'm just going to put this on the floor that way. The first 5 books in that series by Katie Robert, because I've read the first 3 in this series and I really enjoyed them. Neon Gods is probably my favourite, then Electric Idol, then Wicked Beauty. I've not read Cruel Seduction or Radiant Sin yet, but I do love this world. I think what she's done with the world building and the characters and like the lore of it is like really cool. So I wanted to have a copy of these as well. So technically I bought myself 8 books and I bought Becca 3. But I just wanted to do like a little cute unboxing thing. I did at some point say that I was on a book buying ban unless it was for Paris, because I wanted to have as much money for Paris as possible. But because I am seeing Becca when I go to Paris, I wanted to order her a present. And it was free shipping if I spent a little bit more. So it had to be done. Girl math, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm not mad about this. And also, this is only adding 5 books to my TBR as opposed to 8, because 3 of these I've already read. I'm currently having like a housework type day, so I will come at you with a reading update later on, but the place is a mess and I really have to deal with it. So I will see you in a bit. So I'm about another maybe 20 pages into this from when I last updated you, and I have to jump in and I have to say something now, because they're having like a little interaction about tea. As a British person, this is the hill I'm gonna fucking die on, I swear to God. The tea that they have basically turns into whatever their favourite cup of tea is. So hers is like orangey and ginger and his is just breakfast tea, which to any self-respecting British person is just That's a cup of tea, babes. Don't know what to tell you. And she's making fun of him, saying, oh, you probably have a kettle too. And he's like, well, yeah, of course I've got a kettle. Wait, you don't have a kettle? And she's like, microwave, baby. What do you mean, microwave? What? Genuine question. The fuck do you mean, microwave? If you're putting your cup of tea in the microwave to get boiling water, you deserve that tea poured on your fucking head. And I said what I said, and this is the hill I'm gonna die on. Just get a fucking kettle. I don't know how a coffee maker works because I don't like coffee and I don't drink coffee, but surely the coffee is going to pull through some form of hot water. Even if you don't put the coffee grounds in, you're just gonna get hot water come through. Just don't make tea in a fucking microwave, you absolute goddamn heathens. Ugh. But when she said microwave, my soul decided it wanted to jump off a fucking cliff. And any time I see anyone making a cup of tea in the fucking microwave, the rage that I feel, it's just not funny. It's not. It's not faster. It tastes worse, and you can fight with the fucking wall. I shouldn't be this mad about it, and people are allowed to have their preferences, but golly goddamn, no. No, if anyone says, oh, I'll make you a cup of tea, and then they stick that mug in the microwave, I'm going to smash it over their fucking head. I don't care if it's their favourite mug. It was their grandmother's favourite mug. I don't give a fuck. You make me a cup of tea in the microwave, I'm going to smash it on your fucking head, bitch. Violent? Yes. But I'm passionate about tea. The amount of it I drink in a day is concerning for most people. I shouldn't be this heated about it, but I really am. I'm aware that the pineapple pony situation is very 80s right now, but I think it looks really cute, so we're just going with it. So I finished A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch yesterday, and I'm giving this a 4-star. I really did enjoy it. I didn't quite enjoy it as much as the first one, but I think it's because I preferred the characters in the first one to in this. Haldio is just abrasive. She's not mean, she's really fucking brutally loyal. She's the kind of person that will punch first, ask questions later, especially if someone hurts someone they care about, then she's gonna go in fucking balls to the wall, guns blazing. It's kind of giving, I want to say her name is Ada from Brutal Prince, the female main character in that. Like, no one's ever described her as soft. She is hard as fucking nails, but loyal to a fault. So I really enjoyed this. I'm going to pick up the other one in the series when it comes out. I'm not 100% sure when it does. But I think that one's A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. And that's Ben's story. So we'll see. But I did enjoy this one. Just not as much as book one. But speaking of werewolves and vampires, the next book I picked up was Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I'm about that far in at the minute. So on chapter 11. And the only thing that I really knew about this going in was vampire, werewolf, arranged marriage. And I think that's kind of all you really need to know going in. There is like some other plot going on behind the scenes. But let's be honest, we just wanted to read a shifter vampire romance just that was silly and goofy and fun. And we just got a my wife moment. It's not the first my wife moment, but you know, when it's in defense of his wife, it just hits different. Because it was apologize to my wife. I can't explain it, genuinely cannot explain it, but there's something about my wife that just hits differently. Like, the mine part, like, we love that, that's lovely, but it doesn't always hit right, because like sometimes it comes off as like really possessive, not in a good way, and you're there like, go and sit down over the fuck there. No. But my wife will always fucking slap, and my wife will always have me kicking my little feet and just having a giggly good old time, and I love it. I love it. If you're picking this book up because you've read other work by Ali Hazelwood and you wanted to read this as well, I feel like this is such a different deviation from what she normally writes that it doesn't even feel like the same author. Like, for example, Ali Hazelwood is famously fucking known for writing women in STEM and very tall man, pocket-sized woman. Like, goes on and on about it in all of her books, and it gets really fucking annoying. But in this, it says at one point that while yes, he is still very tall, in her heels on her wedding day, she reaches nearly 6 foot. And mwah, We love it. We are here for the statuesque queens in this fucking house. I think they're stunning. I say that as someone that is 5 foot fucking 2. And being only about maybe a third-ish of the way through it so far, obviously we've had no sexiness so far, just delicious, delicious tension, which we love that too. But it does jump right in there with the wedding and the prologue. It is getting a little bit slower now, and it's getting a bit more plot heavy. It's not so much the tension because they're not really around each other, like he is actively avoiding her. So it does have parts, like I'm just on the first page of the prologue here, we've got like a little bit that's his point of view in third person, but the rest of it's in first. This is not a spoiler, this is literally page 1. But all of the chapters have something like that. I think I did flick to the end just to see how many pages there were, and I think the epilogue might be from his POV. Not 100% sure, because again, haven't actually got that far yet. But I am very much enjoying this. This is not groundbreaking literature, but my god, it is a fun time. So, I'm going to read a little bit more of this, and I'm going to be honest, it's such a quick binge read, I'll probably update you when I finish it. So I finished Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and I'm giving this a 4.5. This is by far my favourite Ali Hazelwood. I mean, it's a shifter and vampire romance, which, you know, it's not surprising that this one's my favourite. But I really love, like, the pining and the banter in this, and, like, all the little snippets we get from his point of view at the start of each chapter. That was just really helped build the story. There were a couple of things in this though that really did kind of bring it down a bit for me. One was the world building. Essentially chapter 1 is Misery, our main character, having a conversation with her dad, which is just doing all of the heavy lifting in the world building instead of pacing it out slowly throughout the book. You can tell that she'd never had to do any type of world building before, and it felt really kind of heavy-handed. And the other thing that kind of pissed me off was the third act breakup, because it was really out of character and sort of came out of fucking nowhere. Not only that, his timing sucks. Not for what happened afterwards, but definitely for what happened before. His timing fucking sucks with that. Like, the fuck? And then there was no real grovelling, and there was no real reason either, other than just self-flagellation. And it just felt really off. But I loved the rest of this book so much, I genuinely think I can overlook that. And the end of this book does set up for another one set in the same world, and I'm really hoping we do get more from this world, from this series, more like this, because this was just my cup of tea. So the next book I was going to pick up was staying in the same vein, and I was going to pick up Filthy Rich Vampire, but I had a look on Goodreads at this, and it's part of a series, so I checked out book 2 just to see what the synopsis was and if it is interconnected standalones or it does follow the same couple. It's a series that follows the same couple, which means this is not likely to end in a happily ever after, and honestly, I'm having too much of a good time, I'm having too much of a good reading month to read a book that doesn't end in a happily ever after when this is the only book that I actually own. So instead, I'm not picking up this one, I've changed my mind. I'm going to pick up This Spells Love by Kate Robb, which is a witchy book. So it does kind of fit the same theme, and the tagline for this one is, have you ever had a breakup so bad you wish the whole relationship never happened? Essentially, she has one too many margaritas, which leads to her drunken aunt reading out a spell that means that she doesn't remember anything about what happened with her relationship, including forgetting her boring ex and his really hot best friend. And I think that sounds kind of fun, so I'm going to pick up this one next, and once I get, well, some amount into it, I will check back in and let you know how I'm getting on with it. So I just got to chapter 7, I'm about 77-ish pages in, and when I said that this is her ex's friend, I lied. It's her best friend, not her ex's best friend. And this is magic, not like Charmed kind of magic, you know, the TV show. This is more like magic, like Freaky Friday magic. Like, it's contemporary, but then some weird shit happens, and then she wakes up in a different life, essentially. And I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm not, like I say, I'm not very far in. We've literally just got to her waking up in her new life and finding out the fuck's gone wrong. But I did just want to do a quick little check-in just to correct the mistake that I made earlier, and just to say that I've started this, but I really do have to rush off to work now, so I'm probably not going to pick up any of this today. I am going to probably pick this up tomorrow, so I'll do another check-in when I have something else to say about it, when maybe 50% in, or maybe when I finish the book. Who knows? But I gotta go to work now, so I'll see you in a bit. So it's the next day, and I'm now about halfway through this, and I'm trying to think of a friends to lovers story that I genuinely actively enjoyed. And I've gone on like Goodreads lists to find like friends to lovers stories, and pretty much all of them were like 3-star middle of the road average. The only one that I can think of that I actively enjoyed was Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. And while, yes, in that one, Hazel is very not like other girls, I very much related to, like, the way her brain works. So I gave that one, like, I think I gave that one, like, a 5-star back in the day. That does seem to be, like, the only exception to the rule, because every other one I can think of that is single POV from the female perspective sucks. Sucks is harsh. But, like, the female main character is just insufferable. You and Me on Vacation, Poppy is absolutely goddamn insufferable. Fight with the Wall. I know that is a very popular book, but goddamn it, I hate her. Punk 57, again, that one's not single POV, but Ryan genuinely insufferable as fuck. Cheat Sheet, I don't even care to remember her name, because, oh my god, she's just such a pick-me, it's annoying. And in this, I'm getting so tired of Gemma's POV that it's kind of upsetting me now. Like, I like the story, and I like the magic behind it, but the main character is so insufferable now that I'm just losing the will to live. In her original timeline, I understand why she never considered Dax as a romantic partner, because her and Dax met the same night as her and Stuart, which is her ex-boyfriend. So she didn't consider Dax as a romantic partner because she'd met Stuart and they hit it off, and by the time she got around to hanging out with Dax, that her and Stuart were already a thing, so she distinctly in her mind put him in friend category. But now she's basically in an alternate reality where she'd never met Dax before and she'd never met Stuart before. The night that she met them, she didn't go, basically, and her life turned out completely different. So it's basically alternate timeline, alternate reality. And she's still got him firmly fixed in friend category in her head. And I just don't understand why, other than her being genuinely afraid of not having him in her life, and if it's in a romantic context, it's more likely to go sideways. But, like, you're in an alternate timeline, you are actively making plans to go back to your original timeline, why not just give it a shot? At least then if you go back to your original timeline, you will still have him as a friend in the original timeline, or the original reality, whatever way you want to put this. But she's kind of getting on my fucking nerves now. I much prefer Friends to Lovers when it's dual POV, because I find when it's single POV, it is just annoying as fuck. Every single fucking time. But when it's Friends to Lovers and it's dual POV, I feel like that is a lot more palatable. It's not a trope that gives me the ick like Age Gap does, or like Student Teacher does, but it kind of gives me the same sort of feelings as like college sport romances that I don't really vibe with very much. Like, they're not bad, and I understand why people love it, but for me, it's strong 3-star middle of the road category. And this is looking like it's no exception. This looks like it's going to be somewhere around the 3-star. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm only about that far in, I'm literally halfway through, so it has the capacity to change, but I'm not optimistic that this is going to get over a 3.5 at absolute most. I do still want to read Love and Other Words at some point by Christina Lauren, because one, Christina Lauren is the author duo that is the only Friends to Lovers that I've actively enjoyed. But also, that is the one that most people say that is their Friends to Lovers story, that's meant to be like the bees bollocks of Friends to Lovers story. So I do want to read that one at some point. If you have any other recommendation of Friends to Lovers stories, preferably that are dual perspective, then drop them in the comments below, because I'd be really interested to see if I can find some that really do work for me. But I don't think this is going to be one of my favourites of all time. This is probably going to be the weakest one of the video so far. I still have another book to go after this, so it might not be, but I'm not that optimistic that I'm going to give this above a 3. So once I get to the end of it, I'll check back in and let you know. So I finished This Spells Love by Kate Robb, and I'm giving this a 3.25 star. Like, it's not bad. I mean, it's not great by any means, and this is definitely not going to be anyone's new favourite, but it's just deeply mediocre. Like, there were some times when I had a bit of a giggle, and I like the story in theory, but I'm probably never going to think about this ever again. And the last book I'm reading for this video is The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson. I started this yesterday, and I'm about 120-ish pages away from the end of this so far. Now, this is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. And when I say most anticipated, it came out last year, but I was really looking forward to reading this year. That's, like, it wasn't released this year. Especially considering I read The Nanny last month and I gave that 5 stars and I fucking loved it. And with this being a shifter romance, which is essentially one of my comfort genres, I was really thinking that I was going to absolutely fall in love with this. So maybe my expectations were too high. Now, where I'm at in the book so far, it could all go completely downhill. I'm probably still going to give it somewhere in the 4-star range, which is a very, very biased 4-star. Because the amount of things in this that are kind of getting on my nerves. Like, this is about Noah and Mackenzie, and they both work at the same hospital. They're both shifters, and for one reason or another, they end up fake dating. Now, the reason I love fake dating so much is because there's so much delicious tension in it. And in this, the fake dating has barely even been set up before the tension breaks. So you don't really get the whole joy of the fake dating trope and all of the tension for it. In fact, the fake dating just kind of seems like an irrelevant plot point to push these two together. Like, for example, Noah is like a really brooding, grumpy kind of guy. And I love brooding, grumpy guys, but not when we're not given a real reason for it. I'm hoping we do get one by the end as to why he is the way that he is, but we don't really get that so far. Much like The Nanny, this is more of a 4 spice rating. There is quite a lot of smut in this. And you know how sometimes in fantasy or paranormal type books, sometimes they will change a word. For example, in Sarah J Maas, she changes the word heartbeat for a unit of time measurement, which is just really fucking annoying. When I binged the Throne of Glass series on audio a few years back, that got on my nerves. I swear to God, every time I heard the word heartbeat, my eye twitched. And in this one, it's the word slick, which is essentially the word that is used for the wetness between her thighs. Now, once or twice is a stylistic choice when it's every single time and that's what they're choosing to call it. It becomes embarrassing, and it's one of those things where I'm choosing to overlook it, but it's kind of getting on my nerves. But the main thing about this book, and I've not seen many people review it, but I've seen no one that has reviewed it talk about, is the miscommunication in this book. Like, these two grown-ass adults that are doctors with jobs cannot have a conversation about their feelings to save their fucking life. And it just makes the emotional connection between them basically non-existent. The connection between them is sexual connection and pheromones. That's all there is. But because I really like this author's writing style, and like shifter romances I have such a soft spot for, my review of this is going to be very biased. I do stand by all of the things that I just said, but I am kind of liking it. It's just I really want them to have an actual honest-to-God conversation and talk about their feelings, because it's sort of stressing me out that they haven't yet. But I plan to finish this tonight, and then I'm probably going to check in with you with the outro and the final update on this probably tomorrow. So I finished The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson, and I'm giving it a 3.75. I stand by all of the complaints that I had about this book, about the miscommunication and about the not being enough time with the fake dating and everything, but I love this author's writing so much that even though it annoys me, I still liked this quite a lot. Like, if this was literally any other book with the same issues, it would be getting like a low 3-star. I don't know what it is about this book. I don't know what it is about this author's writing. Something about it just appeals to me, even through all of its issues. And I can't explain it. I really can't. So this is kind of my final ranking for this video. So we've got Bride being my favourite, then A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch, then The Fake Mate, then This Spells Love. And honestly, that's not bad. Like, I didn't expect Bride to be at the top, but I'm very much okay with this. Compared to the last, like, witchy type reading vlog that I did, this went considerably better. So I'm very happy with this. I do want to read more shifter werewolf romances. While I feel like the witchy ones aren't really for me, the shifter ones are very much comfort trope and comfort genre. So I definitely want to pick up more shifter romances, more mainstream shifter romances, pretty please. Or if there are any other shifter recommendations that you have, please put them in the comments down below. And if you got this far into the video, then leave the wolf emoji in the comments down below. But for now, thank you so much for stopping by. It has been lovely having you here, and I hope to see you in another video coming very soon.